is time for me to take life seriously and make some real change, some intense change. Because as an Enneagram 9, my cardinal weakness, and this is something I feel deep down in my soul, is sloth. And this is not just laziness. The dictionary definition of sloth is the reluctance to do work or make an effort. And then it has a little semicolon and says laziness. But sloth to the Enneagram 9 actually runs so much deeper, and it is a problem. And quite frankly, it's been a problem in my life for a long time, but I'm really starting to have that rock bottom feel, like that rock bottom moment where you're just like, The impetus to cause real change in one's life is when staying the same ends up being more painful than the idea of putting in the effort to change. And mentally, I'm kind of there. I'm in that spot where like, okay, but why am I doing this? And I'm fed up with myself. I recently watched a video from another Enneagram 9 that was posted a few years ago, and this is what she said about sloth as our primary weakness. We will stay busy doing all of the things that are easy rather than all of the things that we should be doing. Sloth to an Enneagram 9 is also staying asleep, essentially, to our dreams and desires instead of taking the action necessary to go out there and achieve them. And then the final line that she said, and this one hurt, like big time ouch hurt. Sloth is saying no to the endless possibilities and potential that God has for us. Talk about a big time, get you where it hurts, ouch moment, right? And so as soon as I heard that, I was like, whoa, this is very, very true and feels very real and hits very close to home. So I decided to do something about it. It is time for me to take action, and to do that, to really get myself out of this complacent, sloth-like state, I've decided to implement the trending, the overdone, the absolutely not at all good idea for most people, but we tend to adapt it because it's a trend and modify it anyway, 75 hard. For those of you that don't know, 75 hard is an incredibly challenging commitment and consistency challenge where for 75 days straight, if you're doing it by the book, you do two 45-minute workouts every day. One of them has to be outside. You drink a gallon of water, you read 10 pages of a self-help book, you take a progress photo, you follow a diet, and you stick to that diet. And no cheat days, no alcohol. And I think that's everything, but I could be wrong. And here's the kicker. For 75 days, if you miss one of those things, you have to start over. And the goal is to get through 75 days showing up for yourself consistently. Now, over the years, people have taken this challenge and curated it and modified it and made it their own in the form of a 75 medium or a 75 soft. But for the purpose of what I wanted to do, I changed the title completely and I made it something that felt right to me. So I, starting September 1st, am embarking on the Sloth Buster 75. 75 days for me to focus on specific habits that are going to turn my life around, help me get consistent with all of the things I want to be doing, and really just help me show up for myself in a way that I haven't in a long time. What's really cool about the timing of this is apparently 75 days from September 1st is November 14th, which is my birthday. So the timing works out so stinking well for me to be like, okay, starting September 1st, this might become an annual thing, y'all. I go gung-ho on specific consistency desires to see where I land by my birthday. And so I'm really excited to get this started. And what else is really cool is my membership community, the Diva District, is also going to be participating in the Sloth Buster 75. Now, if they want to change the name as an individual member, they can create a 75-day challenge that speaks to them in terms of title. They also get to choose their own habits that they're working on. Some might have 3, some might have 5, some might have somewhere in between. I don't know. But what I do know is that when somebody brought up a 75 hard in my Discord channel, which is what we use to communicate in the membership, I chimed in with, it's funny you say that because I was thinking the same thing. And every member chimed in with, oh, I would totally be in. It sounds like I could use this too. So we all were in agreement that a 75-day challenge landing on my birthday was a great idea. And so the Sloth Buster 75 was born, and we cannot wait to get started. If you're sitting here and you're like, maybe this is exactly what I need, you are more than welcome to join the Diva District and come join us for our 75-day challenge. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Membership is only $10 a month, which is a bargain for the amount of stuff that goes on in there. So the link to join will be down below. You'll get a little sales page that says $10, and it will create a recurring subscription payment for you. And then you will get instructions on how to get inside the Discord channel, which is where all of the magic happens. So I thought I would take a few minutes and tell you what my Sloth Buster 75 is. What are the things that I am changing for the next 75 days and hopefully beyond to get my butt out of this rut and back in gear? Now, I did take inspiration from the original 75 hard to help me figure out exactly what it was I wanted to create for my 75-day challenge. So some things are gonna sound very much like what 75 hard is, and then I threw in some old things that were kind of just for me. True story, most of it is health and wellness related, obviously. So we're starting with good old fashioned, it's worked for me in the past, the consistency has been lagging, so we're just gonna slap this sticker on it and call it a day. 10,000 steps a day. 10,000 steps a day. I used to be able to get 10, 11, 12, 15,000 steps every single day, and somehow I just don't do that anymore. Now, I do have days where I still get 14,000 or 12,000, but then I also have plenty of days that are like, oh look, it's 4 p.m. and I'm at 4,000 steps today. I know my body, and I know that when I am getting about 10,000 steps a day, I am using my body's energy in a way that will help me sleep better, and I'm not as in much pain, because like when you end up stagnant, when you end up sedentary, I actually end up in more pain than if I'm moving regularly throughout the day. And it's just a great number that I have found over the years for me that works well in making sure I'm moving my body adequately throughout the day. The diet that I'm going to be tracking as a mostly intuitive eater is my fiber intake. So I'm specifically going to be tracking my foods with fiber just to make sure that I get to at least 25 grams of fiber every single day. We all know, if you've been hanging out in my channel in 2024, you know that the word of the year is fiber. Fiber is super, super important for so many bodily functions, and we, especially in the American society and Western society, we are not getting nearly as much fiber as we should be getting. Y'all, 25 grams is like bare minimum. Bare minimum. I challenge you. Track your fiber for a day and see where you're at. The average American gets 15 grams of fiber, which is 10 grams and a very significant percentage less than the bare minimum. So my goal is to get bare minimum 25 grams of fiber every day, but I really want to kind of kick it to like 35 or 40 grams a day, depending on where my tummy is at that day. We're going to put with that fiber goal a 128 ounces or 1 gallon of water goal, because if you are increasing your fiber intake, you need to make sure you're increasing your water intake to go along with it, or it will have adverse effects for your digestive system. So 25 grams of fiber for me at least, and 1 gallon of water a day. And then 2 other fitness related things that I've kind of broken down in like these little tidbits of things that I can do and will make me feel amazing if I do them. I want to go up and down 6 flights of stairs every day, with the caveat of as long as I'm in a location that has stairs for me to go up and down. So there are a couple of times throughout this challenge that I'm not going to be at home. I'm going to be traveling. And if I'm at my grandparents' house, I still have no excuse, because there's a flight of stairs in that house that I can go up and down easily. But if I happen to be in a location where there aren't stairs for me to do on a given day, then I won't worry about it. Or if I don't get home until 10 p.m. that night, I'm not going to do 10 flights when I'm already exhausted. But those days are going to be so few and far between that really, truly, there's only 1 or 2 days that I can think of that might pose that problem. But every other day, I have absolutely no excuse. No excuse, lest me falling and breaking a bone and not being able to go up and down stairs at all, God forbid, I will be able to do 6 flights of stairs a day. Why 6? Because commonly I do at least 3 in a day, but when I shoot for 10, that often feels like way too much. Staircases for me in my disabled body are actually very, very challenging for me to do. So if I'm implying myself and instead of like trying to use my arm as leverage and cheat my way out of using as much energy as possible to get up the stairs, but I'm actually focused on how I'm engaging my muscles each and every step, a flight of stairs is a really great quad and glute workout. So rather than being like, okay, I am going to squat heavy things and all of that jazz, which I do in September have strength training goals as well. But like, what is the thing that I can do every single day? I can't lift weights every single day. That would be awful for my muscles. But I can do stairs every single day. So my daily strength training, if you will, is 6 flights of stairs every single day. The other wellness goal that involves me taking a little chunk of time and doing something, and I have to be in a particular situation in order for me to be able to do it, which is either at home or conveniently at my parents' house, that is to use my vibration plate for at least 15 minutes every single day. I got a vibration plate less than a week ago. I'm loving it, by the way. Full video review coming soon. I'm giving it a good like 30 days of me using it consistently before I give you a report. But what I want to do is keep using it. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. Literally, while I was filming the beginning of this video, the lawn people showed up. So I said, okay, hit stop, went and did 15 minutes on the vibration plate, and by the time the program was done, I came back and the lawn people were gone. So I've been really loving how the vibration plate is making me feel. I don't have any visual results of any kind yet, but man, oh man, loving it so far. So every day for 75 days, I would like to use the vibration plate. The only time that this is something that won't happen is if I'm traveling and I don't end up at my parents' house. My sister at my parents' house owns a vibration plate as well. So if I end up over there, I can still do my 15 minutes. But if I happen to not be there and go somewhere else that's not their house or my house, then I can't do the vibration plate. But again, there's very few days where that should be an issue, maybe 3 or 4, but it should, generally speaking, be just fine. And I'll have about a week under my belt, so I'll have those extra days banked anyway. But I want to just consistently continue to show up on the vibration plate because it's been making me feel really, really good. If you don't want to wait for the review, but you want to see the vibration plate that I have, I will link it down below for you. I bought it on Amazon. So those are like the die-hard health and wellness related things. I also have the intention of making sure my diet is mostly whole foods, mostly homemade, and less dessert. Less dessert, like 1 dessert a day. I might actually throw that in here as like a 1 dessert a day type situation. That's actually a really good idea. Let's add 1 dessert a day to my thing because I'm not gonna abandon dessert. I'm absolutely not gonna abandon dessert. But do I need 1, 2, 3 different sweets occasions throughout the day? No, we don't need that. So 1 dessert a day. Then I have a few essentially mental health things that I'm going to be focusing on as well. Reading 10 pages or 10 minutes of a nonfiction book every single day. 3 hours phone free every single day, meaning my phone is not in my presence. I am not picking it up. It is on Do Not Disturb, although I'm probably gonna start leaving my phone on Do Not Disturb pretty much all the time, to be honest with you. I started a new book called Stolen Focus, and I'm in chapter 2, and I'm already like, I need to get rid of this phone. I need to get rid of it. But I don't want to get rid of it, but I need to control myself around it better. Like, that battle has been happening. I actually talked about this screen time habit with a couple of people at church over the weekend as well, and it was a great conversation. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm feeling particularly inspired to really be like, you are no longer my friend. Goodbye. And so 3 hours every single day is a reasonable amount of time to cut back. This does not include when I am sleeping. So it has to be in times that I would otherwise be scrolling on my phone. I am making the choice to not touch my phone. Every day, quiet time in some form. What does quiet time for me include? Bible study, prayer, journaling. I need to do at least 1, ideally 2, and if I'm really on the ball, all 3. But I have to do at least 1 prayer every single day. And then my last thing, because my skin has been really, really acting up lately, and not in like breakouts, although I have breakouts right now too. I don't know what's happening. Probably overcompensation for the other issue I'm having, which is my dry skin. Dry skin. And what's interesting is my husband also has it. So now we're sitting here going, is this an environmental problem? I thought it was a hormonal problem. It might be an environmental problem. What environmental issue could be like in our house that is affecting both my husband and I? I don't know. If you have any thoughts, comment below. All of that to say, I need to get better about a more strict, hardcore skincare routine. I need to make sure that every night I am deep cleansing my face, but like light with like not drying ingredients, right? But I need to make sure I'm using chemical exfoliant on a regular schedule and just making sure I'm doing all that I can to help my skin, because in a perfect world, I'm a gal that doesn't really need to wear much makeup at all. But right now, even when I get glam for the camera, everything is so dry, it just looks terrible. So I need to get this under control. Never in my life did I think that I would be solving for something other than adult acne, but here we are. So just consistency in a skincare routine is super important in order to see results. And that is everything in my Sloth Buster 75. While sloth is the weakness and the sin of Enneagram 9s, our virtue is right action, taking the actions necessary to get the desires, to get what God wants us to do, to just go, to get the goals, get the things, to create right action, not busy work, not this is easy, let me do this, and this while I avoid this, but to actually just do this, whatever the right action is, to begin with. So, as a recap, my Sloth Buster 75, what I'm doing for 75 days straight, starting on September 1st. 10,000 steps, 25 grams of fiber every day, 1 gallon of water, 10 minutes reading a nonfiction book or 10 pages, whichever comes first, 3 hours of phone-free time, 6 flights of stairs, quiet time every single day, skincare consistency, vibration plate for at least 15 minutes, and 1 dessert a day. And I cannot be more excited about this. I'm so ready for this. And like I said, if you want to join me, if you want to join us in the Diva District, the link to join up will be down below. We get started September 1st. I cannot wait. But if you're like, no, I don't know that I want to do it myself, but I sure do want to watch you do it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be sharing updates as we go all 75 days long. You'll see me do the things in vlogs and talk about results as I go. And it's just going to be a very exciting season of getting myself out of my own personal sloth rock bottom and really starting to make some change. I cannot wait, and I hope you'll join me for the journey.